Hello and welcome to another episode of Subnautica. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're actually going to be building our very first base. Now, I did actually start building a base in another game that I was playing for this recording. However, since the new update, I went back and decided to play through a little bit up to where we were in order to make sure that nothing had changed, like there weren't any new schematics laying around in places that we'd already been before. And luckily enough, we hadn't found any. Unfortunately, it did wind up providing a few problems. So let's do this thing. Hello and welcome back to another episode of what I've got going on here. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into it and make our first real in-game digs. If you can dig it. So, the first thing you want to do is start with a foundation. Now, the reason why you start with a foundation is because it helps to it helps to make your building. Oh, Jesus Christ! Ah! Get off me, you friggin'! Oh my goodness. Okay, I knew they were there. Not really. Let's try that with a whole lot less, heart attack. Now, technically, get away from me, you butt nugget. Do I have anything else? Okay, so one of the other things I've noticed right off was the fact that you're so much faster without having to get the ultra glide fins, even with the enlarged oxygen tank. You're still doing quite a bit faster, still moving quite a bit faster than you would normally. So that's always good. Let me see. One of the reasons why I'm putting this out here, when constructing larger habitats, it may be prudent to separate work and leisure spaces in order to maximize productivity. Treat this space as your home, but never forget that it is not. Well, thank you. Now, what I'm actually doing here is I'm just going to lay out what I'm working on here. Even though I don't have the titanium, I can also turn around later and just go ahead and work on that anyway. I can change those up, get rid of them.
30 seconds.
Even though they're there. So just because I put those there doesn't mean that they're set in stone. Which is always nice. Let's see. Now, there's a reason why I chose this area over here. And I'll get to that in just a moment. Oh, my inventory's full. Oddly enough, you can't really hear it from here. But there's a thermal vent over this way. Now, the reason why I built it so close to the thermal vent, I'll show you here in just a second. There we go. That's the thermal vent. Now, the reason why I built it so close to the thermal vent is because I'm going to be using... Oh, where is it? The thermal plant. Now, this is a great way to give your base electricity, a constant, steady stream of electricity without having to worry about constantly filling up your... Oh, what do you call it? Constantly having to refill power supply items such as the bioreactor, which is still a good reactor. Wow, I'm really... This cold. I'm guessing it's a summer cold. This summer cold is, it's really kicking my butt. It's been day 3 or 4 now.
30 seconds.
And you'd figure I'd be better by now. And I am, actually. I don't have the night sweats. I'm not constantly feeling like crud. Okay, so what I just cut out was all that salvage that I just picked up. I took it back over to my little lifeboat there. Chunked it all up. Now I'm chock full of titanium, which I'm going to need in order to get this thing built. I probably should have grabbed some glass while I was over there. Now, the best way to find this place, I found, is just follow along the outer edge of the safe shoals. Sooner or later, you're actually going to run across number 3 over here. And within a stone's throw away is your thermal vent. That's how I always found it, once I realized that. So let's go ahead and hop out here real quick. Now you want to get some kind of power hooked up to it before you get, because it takes quite a bit to actually get the thermal generators up and running when you first start out. And that's understandable. The easiest way to do that is to go ahead and make a solar panel. But as you can see, I need not just titanium, but 2 quartz. And usually there's a couple, there's one. There's a couple of quartz floating around nearby. But if anything, I probably should have grabbed some glass to make that entryway. And now we've got it powered up. Well, at least the beginnings of power.
All primary systems online.
That'll help make sure that we've got oxygen in there once we're done. Once we're ready to get in, so we're not just running into a vacuum. Which, as we all know, vacuums suck. Okay, that was horrible, and I should feel horrible. I should, but I don't. I rather like that one. It's not the first time I've used that joke. I swear I'll use it again.
Seconds.
One thing I like to do when I'm out and about here, when I start doing this, building your little home away from home there, is I'll actually leave a sub or something there so I can actually find it a lot quicker without having to build a signal of some kind in order for you to just find it again. Makes it faster in some ways, in others not so much because you slow it down drastically. Alright, got all the way back. Let's make some glass. I'm gonna make 2 pieces of glass, even though technically I don't really need 2 pieces of glass right now. Let's see what we can find. Anything else that we want to drag along with us right off the bat? Nope. Alright, so I just made the glass that we're going to need for our entrance there. Had to come all the way back in order to grab that. that's going to be a bit of a pain to start off with, but once you get set up, you really don't have to worry about it that much, because you're not going to be coming back to your little hidey hole there anymore. Well, once you're done. Alrighty, we got all the way back here. Finish off our hatch. Alright, that little weird bit disappeared. Let's go ahead and...
Welcome aboard, Captain.
-1 to base hull strength. Now, that's something that you're going to notice when we first come in. First off, we've got 250 power to start off with. It's not too shabby with just a solar panel up there. The solar panel does not recharge all that quick. Let's see, for internals. Oh, we're going to need to build a few things here, but what we're going to need first and foremost is the fabricator, so we're not constantly running back and forth to our little escape vessel. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to need 1 wiring kit and a computer chip. I'm going to run back to base real quick and grab it, and I'll be right back. And we're back. Now, in all honesty, I could have probably used the console command to get the pieces that I needed in order to make this. And I have tried that in the past in order to make recording easier. But I found that when you use the console command, in order to get the pieces that you need, you end up, the game ends, it's buggy when you do that. So I try and avoid using the console command as much as possible. Let's go ahead and put the fabricator right in there. Get that, bam, right out of the way. Okay, so let's see. As you can tell, we can make anything we could make back at our other base, we can now make here. And that's great. Plus, we're going to be able to make more things here than we would there. And I'll show you that shortly. But we're going to need to make it a little more stable first. Now, when we first walked in, adding the glass to this made it, I don't know if you noticed or not, but it actually made it a little bit weaker. I'm going to show you what I mean by that real quick. We can make windows and we can reinforce the hull. Now, when you make windows, it takes away 1 hit point. When you add reinforcements, you add 7 hit points. Now, what that does is it allows you to actually strengthen and weaken your base depending upon how you want it to look, which is kind of nice in, you know, when you're playing the survival version like I am right now. But when you're just doing a build, you don't have to worry about it so much. You can build however you want to, make it however you want to look. The thing is, so when you're in survival, if your base isn't strong enough, then it will start to break apart. You'll get water leaks. Eventually it will fill with water, and it's just bad mojo all the way around. So, a few things we should probably do is we should probably grab all of our components and bring them on over here already. But I'm not going to do that yet. I don't know why. I'm going to go ahead and build the locker here. Start dumping some of my stuff real quick. I'm actually just going to go ahead and dump everything in here real quick that I am definitely not going to need anytime soon. I'm going to grab those parts and be right back. And we're back with the first load here. Let me go ahead and empty out these. Now, I usually end up making about, I've noticed there's about, I make 4 of these per build. And I loaded them up, I just grabbed them, ran over here with them.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I grabbed a few odds and ends from over there. I didn't grab all the odds and ends. Oof. I'm going to need to carry one of these batteries back with me. Because this, in fact, let me just go ahead and swap this out real quick. Alright. Head back over there. Be back with the other 2. And we're back with part 2. Alright. Now, technically, I was just going to grab these 2 here. And that was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be the last of it. The last of my little jaunt over there and back. Because that's a 643 meter run that just, it gets old really quick. And granted, we haven't been doing it that long, but still, it's getting really old. Incredibly quick. So, I'm actually going to... Should I put that poster up yet? Yeah, let's go ahead and put the poster up. Just because we can. Alright. Now, I was going to say that was the last run. However, that would be wrong. And I'll show you why here in a second. Alright, we're back here, and this is the reason why this isn't the last run. I mean, technically there's some stuff over there that I dropped. That's no real big deal. This is what I don't want to have to make another of. So... we're already on here. Ooh, it's so close. Pick up. There we go. So now that we have the mobile bay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the ping manager. I'm going to turn off the life pod. And that is, because this is technically the last that we'll ever really need of life pod 5. And, you know, I'm almost a little sad to say goodbye to it, but not really, considering that I've just spent 3 or 4 trips now. This is the 3rd trip, going that 600 some odd meter run all the way back here just to pick up my gear and go back. Not to mention the 2 or 3 runs beforehand to pick up odds and ends as I needed it, because I didn't think about it as I was going along, so it's a little bittersweet. But this last run here, you're going to go with me so you can actually see all the stuff that I just cut out, because 600 meters doesn't sound like a whole lot, except when you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Oh my god. Okay, so we're almost there, and there's our little thermal vent. So we're doing pretty good. And there is our base. Now, eventually I'm going to have an actual beacon for the base here, but for right now, I'm just not... In fact, you actually wind up making some, but I'm not going to worry about that for just yet. What we need to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to make ourselves... we're going to place our mobile vehicle bay. Now, I just made it a little bit off to the side here so that when we build something... Come on, climb. It's going to shoot out there and then drop instead of dropping onto our mobile bay or our base here. We don't want it to drop on our base. That would suck. So, I'm going to go ahead and start emptying some of these storage lockers and moving stuff around, and that's probably going to be boring and you're probably going to miss out on it, so don't worry. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut it right there for Subnautica today. So, what we got covered so far, we've started the basics of our base. We've learned that I needed to cut out a whole lot in order to just try and compress this down considerably, and we should not use the console command because it makes things buggy. While I haven't used the console command in this game that we're playing right here today, I have used it in the past, and it has made the game buggy. I don't know if it's actually changed any since the update. I'm not really willing to try it at this point. However, we're just starting on our build right now. I've already got the rest of it recorded, but it's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like 1 episode's worth of material. Come to find out, I've got a lot more, unfortunately. I was thinking considerably, or I was seriously considering making it 1 large episode, but unfortunately, I just don't see that. I am, however, going to compress the rest of it into 1 episode instead of the 2 or so, because the majority of this one was just shutting down the old base, closing up shop, moving all of our stuff, and just getting set up. We're just starting. So, with that, I want to thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. I love your comments. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.